So welcome to Excel 101, or for those of you who just don't want to deal with Excel workbooks, we're going to get past there because they can be very easy to deal with. They can be difficult, but they can be easy, and they can be really, really helpful. So first of all, I was thinking of how to start this thing, and I decided that I would make everybody think of their school days and when you had a piece of graph paper with a whole bunch of squares and usually an X and Y axis. So there was a line along the bottom and a line up the top, up the left-hand side. Excel is basically that. It's a piece of graph paper, but your X and Y axis are the X are your row numbers down the left hand side, and your Y axis are the letters of the alphabet, and they go across the top. So the top left cell is 1A, the cell below it is 2A, the second cell in the top row is 1B. So you've got your alphabet across the top, and it goes A to Z, and then it'll go AA to ZZ to AZ, or it keeps going. You can have unlimited, almost in the millions, I think, of Excel columns and rows. So you never have to worry about running out of Excel columns or rows. So this piece of graph paper can hold a whole bunch of different things. It can hold words, it can hold numbers, it can hold formulas, it can hold drop it down menus, but we're not going to go there. I'm going to stick to really basic stuff today. For those of you who want something in advance from that, we'll get there. But today we're going to stick to the basics. So I want everybody to go to that blank sheet of paper, that blank graph piece of paper, that blank workbook of Excel. And to move around, you just use your arrow keys or your tab keys. And it doesn't really matter. Sometimes if you're writing in a workbook, and you want to get out of the cell and save what you've written, tab is the easiest. It also means you don't have to take your hand off the keyboard. But arrow keys and tab keys, and like up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow, and tabs, shift tab, those are your keys to get around. Sorry, Susan, but I'm teaching you mostly screen reader users here today, so you'll learn some keyboard stuff. Okay, so you can type anything in a cell. You could type your name, you could type a number, you could just type anything. And when you tab, it saves it in that particular cell. And you can then come back and edit it. So why don't we start with that? Why does everybody type their first name in cell A1? And I'm hoping that screen reader users that your coordinates are speaking. I can tell NVDA users where to fix that. I can't remember where JAWS users to go to fix that, so I apologize. I meant to do some work on JAWS before this, but at least I found one thing, and that was how to set the rows and columns in JAWS. People were asking me why I was sending out NVDA information, and it was honestly so that I didn't lose it, because rows and columns, the way people write Excel spreadsheets these days, sometimes your header that you want to know what what the column titles are will be in row 4, not in row 1. And so you need to be able to set that row so that NVDA or Jaws knows which row where the title of the row is. So, all right, but let's start by typing your name in cell A1. So you're just going to move to A1, which is the top left hand corner, and you're just going to type your name, your first name. So I just typed Marcy. And I'm just going to give you a minute or a second or two. And then you have probably tabbed away from there. So you can arrow left or shift tab left, and you should hear what's in your cell. Or Susan, you'll see it there, and whoever else is looking at stuff. Now, say you made a mistake, which happens, so you want to edit this cell. And everywhere in Windows, it seems, F2 will let you edit things. It'll let you edit file names, for example, in Windows Explorer. And in Excel, it will let you edit cell information, cell contents. So if you hit F2, it should say edit and your name, your first name, and your cursor will be at the end. So if you left arrow, you should the last letter of your name. And I want you to hit a space bar and type your last name. And then you're going to hit tab and then go back and check your cell and see if your full name is now in that cell. And now I'd like to check in with everybody. So can we have, how did everybody do? Just there's small enough amount. If we have, even if 12 of us start talking at once, it won't be too bad. So just tell me, how are we doing so far?
Can I speak?
Yeah.
I don't want to. So when I did it and I tapped away and came back, it says Lisa Lawson overflow A1. So
okay.
Does that mean? So I was concerned about the word overflow. That's why.
Okay. So basically, what Excel does is it decides how narrow the columns should be. And as far as screen readers go, it doesn't matter how narrow they are, because the screen reader will read it properly. It might say overflow, it might say cropped, but it gets tricky when you've got numbers in a column and the column is too narrow. And then Excel and your screen reader don't get along very well, and you start hearing really strange things. So there is a way to auto fit, so to make your column that it needs to be. And right now, we don't need to do that. We can do that in a minute or 5, but we don't need to do that right this minute, so don't worry about the overflow. Okay?
Excuse me.
Anyone else want to tell me how you're doing?
I got it.
Okay.
I have my name where it's supposed to be.
Hi, Alan.
Yeah, hi there.
So everything's working okay there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any questions so far?
Okay, I will explain what happened to me, and it's
Okay.
very interesting. I had to go back and re-edit because somehow because I was on the wrong spot in the edit field, I ended with, well, I had to go back and correct where an E ended up at the end of my last name instead of at the beginning my first name. So yeah, be careful when you go to edit that you're in the right spot.
Okay, yeah, if you move around, it will move your cursor around. That's for sure.
And there's for the fact that it happened. So I had that space, this, sort of, was moving around in the edit field, and I didn't make sure I was in the right spot before I started typing. So just for people's information, it was learning how to edit it. Go
Yeah.
back and re-edit.
Okay. Anyone else wanna tell us how you did?
It's Diana, and it worked just fine. What I have to remember is that as soon as you move into a cell, that text is highlighted. So if you don't press F2, you delete what was there or overwrite it, which is good information actually. And I knew
Well,
that from before.
and thank you, Diana, because that's probably where I was going next.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry.
No, that's why I'm checking in with everybody, because you know me, I don't like to babble. So if someone else can come up with where we're going next, I'm happy. So Diana's right. When you come into a cell, that cell is highlighted. And if you don't hit F2, as Diana said, if you just start typing, whatever you had there before is gone. However, you can undo that operation with undo. Good old Control Z becomes a good friend. Escape becomes a good friend, because if you realize before you exit that cell, so say you came into A1 and your first name was there and you forgot to hit F2 to put your last name in, and you started typing your last name and then realized, oh no, I just typed over my first name. If you hit escape, it will not keep that cell the way you started. It will go back to what it was. So escape is a really good undo if you haven't left the cell. So if you haven't committed yourself, then you can escape out of it. That's very, very good practice. That's right. Okay. So we talked about writing, editing, deleting. You can delete a cell's contents a couple of ways. One by just writing over it, if you wanted to put something else in it. One by going into it and just hitting the delete key, that'll clear it, or hitting cut, and that'll cut whatever is in that cell. And then you can move somewhere else and paste with Control V that item somewhere else. So why don't we try that? Why don't you try going to your name, which hopefully is still in A1, cut it, so Control X, and then move somewhere else. Go, I don't know, go down a few columns, go down a few rows, go over a few columns, and hit paste, Control V. And that should move your name into that new cell. And if you didn't want to do that, you could undo that whole operation by hitting Control Z, and it'll go back to A1 where it was. So Control Z is a really good thing to know of. You can copy a cell's contents and move it into, and copy it and paste it into another cell. Same thing, you would go to the cell you wanted to copy, hit Control C this time, move to wherever you wanted it, and hit paste, Control V, and whatever you copied would now be in both of those cells. So why don't we try a little formula?
Alter audio now unmuted.
Can I
Yes,
ask a question?
yeah,
I was doing fine all this time, but when I deleted from A2, the second cell,
yeah.
and then I undid that. I cut
Brian
that, I went
Travolta
back to
joined the
the
meet.
first cell, and when I tried to paste it, it didn't appear there.
Okay, sorry. Go through what you did again.
So I typed my name, my full
Okay.
name,
Yeah.
in A1.
Okay.
Then I cut it and I pasted it in the next cell.
Yeah.
What is it?
A2.
A2.
Okay.
I cut it from there. I shift tab back to A1, and I tried to paste it, but it didn't paste.
Okay. Is it still in A2?
View button.
No, well, I have to go. I have
Or
to.
sorry, yeah, is it still in A1? Is it still
Look
work?
one cell to move to an item.
now,
Press the arrow keys.
can you hear
Blank
me?
B1.
Yeah.
So I'm in B1 now,
Blank A1.
and it's
Blank B1.
it's
Yeah,
not
it's nowhere.
either.
Okay, try pasting.
Okay.
Blank B1.
It says pasted from clipboard, but it doesn't show my name in B1.
Okay, let's try undoing because somewhere you did something different.
Okay.
So try Control Z.
Blank B1.
So
Okay,
now in
try.
B1 it says undo.
Yeah, do it again.
Do it again. Okay.
Blank A1.
Okay, now look at B1.
Blank B1. Selected.
It says
Okay,
B1 selected. I see the cursor, but I don't see my name.
okay, hit undo again.
Vangelis Nikias
Now
A1.
it appeared.
Okay, so it's now in A1. So let's
Yes.
try this again. So you're gonna get out of the cell so that we make sure it selects. So go to B1.
Blank B1.
Yeah.
Okay, come back to A1.
Vangelis Nikias A1.
Okay.
Now it's in my.
Now
yeah.
cut that.
Okay. Cut. Okay.
Okay, and then go to B1
Blank B1.
and hit paste.
Vangelis Nikias B1.
There
Vangelis
you
Nikias
go.
B1.
So now if you wanted to copy that and put it or cut it again, I suggest you go out of the cell and come back to it so that it makes sure that it's selected.
Blank A1. Vangelis Nikias B1.
So now I can copy it. I think I'm
Yeah,
fine.
you can
I don't
copy
need
it.
to take any more of your time. That's-
Okay, there you go.
Thanks.
No problem. Anyone else? Okay. So let's just for fun, let's try a tiny formula, nothing real difficult, but just something to show you a little bit of the power of Excel. So what I want everybody to do is down column A, so down the left-hand side, I want you to type the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 will be in A1,
Blank A1.
and you're still unmuted.
Sorry.
To move to an item, press the Alt Z.
Yeah, you need to get back to Zoom. Okay, so so in A1 you're going to have the number 1, in A2, so right below it, so you're going to down arrow, you're going to have the number 2, and so on and so on. And if the easiest way to go down, if you're typing stuff, is to hit enter, and it will move you. So if you type 1, enter in A1, you should end up in A2, and type 2, and then go down and type 3, and then go down and type 4.
Oh, question, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 going down, right? The numbers,
Yes.
you want us to put it in?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure because Jaws
Yep.
was speaking to me, so thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, is there anyone who is not finished doing my 1, 2, 3, 4 going down the side of an Excel spreadsheet? If you aren't finished, can you let me know what's happening? And if I get silent, I'm going to assume that you're finished, and I don't want to rush things, so I understand that people are having issues rather than, you know, this is a training session. This isn't just, you know, this is so that you get something out of it, and I want to make sure you do. So all right, I'm going to assume, hopefully not wrongly, that everybody has 1, 2, 3, 4 down the side. And so what you're going to do now is really interesting. You're going to go to the cell underneath the number 4, cell A5, and you are going to type Alt equals. And for whatever reason, mine didn't work.
I'm
What
sorry, Marcia.
Excel?
I'm sorry,
Hi.
I'm Gizon. Hi. You have to
Hi.
select. Hi. You have to select the cells first, and then you have to do that, and then it will work.
It used to work without selecting the cells, but let's just see if you're right.
So
I'm
select
not
1, 2,
doubting
3.
you.
Oh, okay. So
But
try to maybe like select 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go to 5,
yeah.
and then do it that way. Maybe it will work.
Let's just see. No, it's still not, for
No?
whatever. Isn't that interesting? All right.
Then I use the formula sum equals.
Yes, I know. But that wasn't the point I was trying to go for. So let me just
Okay.
try that. I was going to go there, but let me just try it the other way and see if it works this time. Oh, isn't that wild? Okay. All right. So usually what happens is usually if you do alt equals after you've done a bunch of numbers, Excel will automatically add them. And I'm wondering if it just thought, oh no, she's not doing this because of that. So let's just make the numbers different and see if that makes a difference. So just everyone bear with me while I see. Hi, Susan.
I just wanted to say you might have a blank in there because it doesn't like blanks. I wonder if you're missing a number in one of your cells.
No,
No?
I'm
Okay.
not. It's just I think it's just doing It's just being a nuisance. So
Interesting, mine came up and said formula value 0.
Yeah, that exactly. It didn't do what it was. Okay. So Excel decided that we weren't trying to add numbers. We were just trying to number the columns, the rows. So what I'd like
for
you
me
to
works,
do.
Marcia. Marcia, for me works, yes. So what I did, so I put 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what I did like A1, A2, A3, A4, and then I went and then I selected, and then I went to A5, and then I selected, and then I went to A5, and then I press enter, and it works.
It's funny. If you type weird numbers into your cell, so if you type just any numbers, but not 1, 2, 3, 4, into those 4 cells going down, and then hit Alt equals in cell 5, and then enter, it will add those for you.
That's right. That's right.
But
it added the whole thing, yes.
But it did not want to add my 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm assuming it didn't want to add anybody else's either.
So I don't know if you can hear my Jaws.
No.
For me, it shows up 10.
Hear your
Okay,
Jaws.
sorry. So in A5, it shows 10 for me. Like I did
Yeah, that's what it
A1,
should have shown,
1,
but
and then
it
2, and then 3, and
wasn't
then 4.
working.
Okay. For me,
Excel.
worked, no problem.
God bless
Okay,
Excel.
okay, it worked for me when I got the enter key. I missed the enter
That's
key,
right. You
so
have to
it
press
worked.
the enter.
And I'm using Jaws, so I don't know if that makes a
Okay.
difference.
Yeah, it may be that NVDA just did not.
Yep.
I don't know what it did, but anyway, doesn't matter. We'll get it done. The idea is that if you have a row of numbers or a column of numbers and you hit Alt equals, chances are more likely that Excel will add that row, that column of numbers for you, which is really easy. But if it does not, then the formula is fairly simple. It's the word it's you for every formula, you press the equals sign first, and the equals sign is to the left of the backspace on most people's keyboards. Not sure where it isn't to the left of the backspace, but sometimes it isn't. But that's where it is on a full keyboard. And you hit the equal sign and then the word sum, and then left parent, which is the shift of the number 9, and then the cell coordinate of the start of your run of numbers. So that would be like A1. Then the colon, which says, okay, start there and go to, and the end coordinate. So if your last number was in A4, you would put A4 there. And then you close the parentheses with the shift of the 0 and you hit enter, and it will move your cursor down 1 and you come up to the cell, and it should have the number of the total of those cells. And I'm sorry it didn't work nicely the first time. But that's tech, right? We're all used to that. It sometimes does work and sometimes it doesn't. So that's a real simple formula. The simpler could be, you could actually, if you didn't want to use a sum, if you didn't remember that, you could actually do equals and then just write in A1 plus sign, A2 plus sign, A3 plus sign, A4, and hit enter, and the same thing would happen. The minus sign is the dash, the divided sign is the slash, and the multiplication sign is the star, the shift of the 8. So those are all your operation signs. You can do all sorts of operations in Excel, from really complicated to very simple. And yes.
Can I clarify?
Yes?
So I did all you said, and when I enter, it has the word sum, but it didn't add up.
No, it didn't behave.
Yeah, okay.
So if you just put 4 random numbers into those 4 cells and then do alt equals, it should behave. Hit alt equals and then enter. Then it should, in the 5th cell, it should add them.
But that's what I'm saying. I did that, and it says it has the word sum.
Yeah.
And I'm using the Mantis, the Braille. I'm looking at it at the Braille display.
Okay.
So it shows a number of things. I have to go back to tell you exactly what they are. But what it didn't do is it didn't give me a sum of 10.
Okay, no, because that's what I'm saying to you, is that it wasn't working with the 1, 2, 3, 4.
But you have to select the cells first.
Yeah.
Because it won't work.
Okay.
Just if you put different numbers in, it will work.
Okay.
It was thinking I was not. It was thinking we were numbering the columns, the rows.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's why Excel didn't behave.
But I think you got the point across, and I can try that later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any questions? Susan, you
yeah.
Sorry?
Yes, where's the equal sign?
Okay, if you're on a regular keyboard, it is
yes,
to
I
the
am.
left. Okay, left of the backspace. You'll find backspace, and one to the left of it.
One to the left.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be Alt in that one, and
that's right. If it's gonna work, it may not work.
2516. Mine was perfect. I think like I selected 1 to A4.
Yeah.
Then I did like Alt and equals on A5, and then the result was 10 for me.
Okay, great, excellent. Yeah. All right.
All the audio.
Actually, I should report something to you.
Yes.
I went back and I listened to it, and it's interesting. It says 10 contains formula.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
The 10 it doesn't show in Braille.
No, that's interesting.
So what it shows in Braille, it shows the selected cells, but it doesn't show the sum. But it speaks the sum.
Diana is our Braille display expert. Diana, what?
I turned the speech off, and so that it didn't bug everybody, so I didn't get the speech. But yeah, it's not gonna show if you don't have the speech on. It's not gonna give the number. But it does show that there's the formula there.
Maybe it's because I have it on speech on demand, perhaps.
Well, that's what I did, but that's how mine is. But it isn't. It didn't read the number.
Yeah, I'll go back and try it.
I'll play too, but I get the idea. So we probably can continue.
Okay. All right. So, we can do, and like I said, you can do a lot with a blank spreadsheet, but what you're usually going to do is someone's going to give you a spreadsheet. And they're going to say, go look at this. And that's where the fun begins. So, I'm just trying to think which one I want to start with. We're going to start with Choir list 2002-2003. Because we can do a lot with this list. We can talk about deleting rows, inserting rows, sorting stuff. We can mess with this list completely. It's got a lot of possibilities. So if everybody can go to the email I sent you and open choir list. And I can't remember where the cursor starts. So when you get into the sheet, when it opens up, first of all, I hope everybody's listening. And if it opens in protected view, we need to fix that. So I'm gonna wait until give everybody a chance to open their workbooks.
All the audio.
Which one do you want us to open?
Choir list.
Oh, I have to find it. Okay, sorry.
I think it's the third attachment. I think it was the last one that I attached. So I think it's the third attachment in that in that email. Okay. Now, for most of you, I am going to assume that it opened in protected view. If you don't remember what your screen reader told you when it opened, because it would have told you, hit your screen reader access key, whatever it is, caps lock, insert, and the letter T, and let it read the title again. And if it is in protected view, then the easiest way to fix that, hit Alt F for file, Alt F together, the letter I and the letter E. And for those in Office 365, it gives a little squeaky sound to tell you that it fixed it. If it says file, if it tells you file list, escape, and try again. But you need to get it out of protected view or you won't be able to manipulate it. Okay, I'll take questions. Is everybody out of protected view?
All the audio.
I opened it, but it seems to be blank.
Okay.
It said something about an email. I unprotected it.
Okay, if you unprotected it,
Yeah.
if you hit Control Home to go to the top cell, it should say University Settlement Choir.
Okay, I'll try. I'll go back. I'll unmute. But I was looking for it, so if you don't mind repeating what you were saying for a minute there, I would appreciate it.
I want to make sure that it's not in protected view. So I was just explaining how to get out of protected view.
Marcy, I'm having a problem getting over to the third attachment in the email because I'm using Office 2013 Business and it's only letting me go to the first one. It won't let me go over to yes, it's something with my computer. I know it happened.
All the audio.
Try arrowing down.
Okay. Oh, it froze again.
So I
Or
got
right
I'll
arrow.
try that, okay?
So yeah, arrow, either right arrow, usually it's right arrow or down arrow. All right, who else wanted to? Vangelis, did you need?
Alta audio.
I got the university settlement.
Okay, and have you unprotected it?
I could see the words in Braille university settlement.
Okay, but is it check to see if it's in protected view.
I'll go back and try.
Just do insert your caps lock and T. And check the title line. Okay, anyone else having issues? I've got someone unmuted there. Did you want to ask me something, or can you mute again? One of the two, please.
Yeah, I'm, you said type, do Alt F, I, and then E.
Yes.
That didn't seem to work.
Okay, and I said if you hear something like home or file list, hit escape, and start again.
Our yesterday's audio now on Shift live mode. Top of file unread. Importance high. Trio lower environment unread. Walcott adept.
Okay, someone's going through their email.
One. Walcott Adele. Read. Boost your Excel skills. Join our Excel
You're unmuted. Vangelis?
No, I can see Isabel Bernaum's is the conductor, and then it goes to sopranos, and I didn't read any.
Okay, just a minute. All right, so whoever was going through their email, was that you? Someone was going through email. All right, Alan, did you get it to work?
No.
No, it didn't work for me either. I did Alt F, I, it took me to info, and E wouldn't work.
Okay,
It didn't do anything.
Okay, if it won't do anything, then use your arrow key or your tab key to go along the info line until you hear undo editing. And that's what you want to do.
Right.
Okay.
Sometimes it will stick on info and it just won't go out. Sometimes it won't. Okay, and someone has their email. Unmute your
unread message enter. List
All right.
box, profile unread. Lower Kyron. Read.
All right.
Control what inbox to enter inbox hail top profile importance high trio lower environment intake management services cancel night alert make offline run in sit for environment on February 29th 2024 between 8 a.m. and 11.
Kyla, it's either Hale or it's Alan. One of the two of you. Your Jaws is you are unmuted, and I'm listening to your. Okay.
Yeah, I will mute it. Yeah.
Thank you. We're in Excel, not Outlook right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go on because we're running out of time. Wow, I don't know where it went. And I'm gonna tell you how this spreadsheet is set up. So this spreadsheet has a few little things like the conductor's name and the name of the choir, and then it has the choir in its sections. So it's got soprano, and then it's got a bunch of people, and then it's got all and a bunch of people, and each row has a person's name and phone number and email address all along in each column, and you can look at those and see how it's set up. But the idea here is that this is set up in a really awkward for someone who is blind to try and find someone. What you might want to do is put the whole thing into alphabetical order so that then you can find someone. But before we can do that, we need to clean it up because it's got a bunch of, like I said, it's got bass, alto, soprano, tenor in between these rows of people. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean up the spreadsheet, and then we're going to sort it. So I'm going to show you the sort, and we're going to just do one massive sort, and I think probably end this thing, but we're going to do some deletes. So Excel has some really nifty little little hotkeys, which are easy to remember because they follow the letter structure of what they do. So since the home is the place where most things happen, all of these things start with Alt-H. And to insert a row above the row you're sitting on, it's Alt-H-I-R. Isn't that interesting? To delete the row that you're sitting on, it's Alt-H-D-R. Really simple. To delete a column, it's Alt-H-DC. To insert a column, it's Alt-H-IC. If you want to insert cells, you do Alt-H-I, and then you'll be sitting on the cells and you just hit enter on that. Or you can arrow up and down to see what's in there. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to clean this spreadsheet up. So the first row I want you to get rid of is row 1. The one that says University Settlement Choir. So Alt-H-D-R. So Alt-H first, then D, and then R. And row 1 should change to just the word name. Well, it's not just the word name. It's actually the beginning of all our column headings. So row 1 should be name, tel, email address. Okay, can I get anyone who has not gotten there? Just tell me where you're at and what's happening. Okay.
It worked exactly the way you described it.
Okay. All right. Now, I wish everybody who is not having it worked would be as clear about it. So I want to make sure everybody's in the same place. Okay, so
Marcy, I'm going to
Yeah.
have to leave because my computer's not even letting me get to that file. So I'll just leave.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's not
no,
because-
just you can sit around and
Yeah,
you know.
it's frustrating because it won't let me go. Nothing you've told me, but let me get over to that file.
Well, I can quickly send it to you, just that file.
Okay, that would help. I just thought that would help. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wish you would have told me earlier.
No,
but
no,
that's
I'm
okay.
trying everything you suggested. It just won't do it. It freezes my computer.
Okay.
Sorry.
It worked fine for me, Marcy.
Great. Okay. Come on, Excel. And now okay. Just oh good. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of that and just send you that. There you go, Louise. It's on its way. Okay, so all right, so now row 3, which is now row 2, is a blank line. Should say if you move along, you should just hear the cell coordinates of that row if you move left to right. So you can get rid of that one too. So you can do it 2 ways. You can try Control Y, which is redo, And sometimes it will keep the last Excel command if too much time and if you haven't done anything else unusual in the meantime. Otherwise, Alt H DR and delete that row too. And you can delete the next row. And then we're going to select the next three because we can get rid of them too. So what you're going to do is you should be on the row that has in cell what are we A2 now, I guess. It'll say Isabel Bernaus. That's the name you're looking for. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold down the Shift key and arrow down twice. And you're going to hear Excel tell you the start and stop selected cells. So you should hear I guess that'll be
When I
A2 to
deleted
A4.
row 2, it landed on, it said A2 conductor.
Yeah, and I want you to get rid of that one too. So Alt HDR, delete that row.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So then A2 should now be Isabel Bernaus. You're going to select by hitting holding the Shift key down, and you're going to go down arrow twice. And you should hear A2 Isabel Bernaus to A4 Sopranos. And it'll be a lot of stuff being told to you. But what it is the cell coordinates and what's in the cell contents of the first and the last cell of your selection. And then what you're going to do is Alt H DR. And that's going to get rid of those 3 rows.
Sorry, how do you select?
Hold down the Shift key and arrow down twice.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so we now have, hopefully, if everything went well, we have what's her name? Areola Bernadette. She should be in your row 2, right underneath the header, which is name. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is we're not going to do the rest of this spreadsheet in terms of cleaning it up first, because that'll take too long. And I think I'd rather show you the sort dialog box and give you a little lesson in that than having us look for things. So we're going to sort this thing, and it'll sort weird, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to go to the top cell, which will be Control Home. Control Home will always get you to the first cell of the spreadsheet. Control End will take you to the last cell. However, if someone was working on the spreadsheet and they ended up with some blank lines because of the work they were doing, you may end up farther down than where the actual spreadsheet ends. But in the case of a sort, it really doesn't matter, especially this one, because it's going to be a really down and dirty sort. So what you're going to do is you're going to go Control Home, and you should hear the word name if everything worked the way we hope it did. And then you're going to go Control End with the Shift key this time. So Shift Control End. And you should hear A1 name through something. It'll be around row 70 or 69, and I wasn't paying attention to what column it was. But it will be that whole thing selected. And then what you want to do is you want to go and find the sort dialog box, and that is on the data menu. And the fastest way to get to the data menu is Alt A for Apple. When you it may do what it just did to me. It may do what it did to me.
So, Marcy, you said Alt A and then you were cut in there.
Yes, I know, because Zoom decided that it didn't want me to do that. Oh, okay. All right, so everybody else, if what happened is that at some point along the line, I set Alt A as a global hotkey for Zoom, and so wherever I am, if I hit Alt A, it mutes me. I need to unset that, but I haven't done it. I also did the raise hand too, which is a problem somewhere. Okay, so what if you can try Alt A and get to the date menu. If that doesn't work for you, do Alt H for home and then arrow right to the data menu, and then you want to arrow down and you want to arrow right until you hear sort ... and not the sort A to Z. It'll be after the sort A to Z. And I need to get to the data menu, and I'm having NVDA issues. That's hilarious. Come on. And I may end up having to teach this without actually being able to look at, oh, okay, maybe I can get there now.
So Alt H and what?
If you can do Alt A, it'll
Yeah.
take you to the data menu directly, and then arrow
Yes.
down and you're looking for the sort dialog box.
Okay.
Alt A took me to something called formatting tab 1 of 5.
Alt A did?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Anyway.
different.
Yes.
All right. Just a minute. Yeah, it's still Alt A in 365. That's interesting. All right. Well, try arrowing right and see if you can find data. If that's the menu you want, and then go down, and it's called all right. All right. Well, isn't that interesting? Okay, you can try Alt AS, and that may take you right to this. So Alt A and then S is the shortcut key apparently to get right to the sort dialog box. And once you get there, you hit enter to go into it, and you land on an OK button, which is helpful once you've created a sort and then you do something and you want to just resort the thing, but it's not helpful when you first come in here because you need to tab through this mess. So the first tab gets you to the cancel button. The second tab gets you to the add level button if you want to do a multi-level sort, and you can, but we're not going to. Then there's a delete level, then a copy level, then a move down so that you can reorder things, an options, and finally you get to something that is helpful, and that is my data has headers. And most of the time you do a sort, your data is going to have headers, so you want to make sure that is checked. Then you're going to tab 3 more times, and it's going to be sort by. And this is your list of columns, and we want to sort this thing just for fun. We're going to try and sort it by email address. So you should hear name, email address, phone number, telephone, tell no, or whatever it was, and email address. That's what you want to sort it on. So you just leave arrow down until you hear that, and then you're going to tab till you hear OK.
So I couldn't get to sort, Marcy.
Okay. Did you try Alt A and then S?
Yeah, let me see. Yes, I did, but let me.
Cell name A1.
Okay, so Control
Shift N. Select A1. Name C70. Blank. Alt A. Upper ribbon. Data tab. 6 of 9. Alt followed by A.
Okay,
So
then try S.
When I press S, it's not going anywhere.
Okay, try down arrow.
S menu. Get and transform data group. Get data sub menu.
Now arrow left and find your sort. Or arrow right, it doesn't matter really.
Menu. Forecast. Data tools. Relationships button. Remove duplicates. Text to columns. Sort and filter. Advanced.
Sort and filter.
No, keep going. You're almost there.
Filter button. Not check sort button.
Oh, sort. Okay.
ASS.
Okay, you don't want the A to Z.
Dialog.
There you go.
Activate. Press space bar.
Okay, good. You're where you need to be.
Okay, button.
Okay. Can you mute yourself now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. So once you set that you're going to sort by email address, so remember for you who just got in there, you're going to tab until you hear you're going to make sure that my data has headers is checked. Then you're going to tab 3 times and you're going to arrow down to email address. And then you're going to tab 3 times actually till OK and hit enter. Okay. So if that worked, once you hit OK, you're going to come back to your workbook. If that worked, the first email address that you should have, so in column C, is Analia, Analia ST at Rogers.com, if it worked. So can I hear from, let me hear from people who
Okay,
actually,
I, excuse me, I got to the data,
yeah,
then I tabbed and tabbed, but my Jaws was interfering with your instructions. So I didn't follow exactly the steps. I was looking for email, but I couldn't find it. But maybe I was looking at the right, I wasn't following.
Did you get into the sort dialog box?
I did at some point, and it said button, and I entered there, but it didn't produce.
Well, if you hit enter before you even tabbed into that dialog box, it would have taken you right out of it.
Oh, okay.
Because you land on an OK button when you go into the sort dialog box. And if you hit enter, you're out of it.
So when I go to data and I tab.
Yeah, you need to find the sort dialog box.
And then
go in there. Yeah. And then tab to my data has headers and make sure that that's checked. And then tab 3 times. And there you can arrow down. You should have a column named email. And then tab 3 times to OK.
So when you say in the sort dialog box and you say go in there, how do you?
So you hit enter on sort ...
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I have to go, but this has been great, and I'll try to do.
Well, I'm about to finish because we're after the hour, but I want to just make sure, I want to see where everybody got to. So do I have?
Actually, after Alt A, and then if you do SS 2 times, it will take you to sort button.
Huh. Okay, Alt A, and it says Alt AS. Well, isn't that interesting?
Alt A and then S and then S.
Yeah, well, it doesn't say that. Like on I'm pretty sure that the tooltip didn't have the second S. So isn't that interesting? Okay. Excel. So who got Analia ST at Rogers.com?
I do.
That's their first email address.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
Who else? All right. If you didn't get it, let's quickly, or try and quickly. I'm going to go to Zoom so that I can have my participants list. And I'm just going to go down and we're going to just try and figure out why. So, Diana, this is in the, and because those people who are unmuted, you're going to first, because that's the way it works. So, Diana,
I see.
What happened to
you? Oh, about everything. I think I have to start. The directions were good, but I would have to go back to the deleting, but I didn't care because I just wanted to sort it. And so I tried highlighting the whole thing with Control Shift End. And then when I did Alt A, and then S and S, it doesn't give me anything. It just sits there. I have a totally blank screen. So I have to figure out what I did not do.
Well, sometimes those shortcut keys don't work.
No, now
So-
it says Alt A followed by Q. I think that probably is quit. And then it says Diana Brent is signed in. Oh, good. So good Lord, it makes total sense to me. So I'm just gonna go play with the commands and make it
Okay.
work.
Okay. All right. Okay, Vangelis.
Well, I got to sort, and I thought, then I tapped more, and I got various sort of options by relationship, by source, by this, by that.
Okay, so yeah, so you weren't in the sort dialogue. You didn't
Oh.
get it. You weren't.
So that I think that is what I missed. I didn't. I
Yeah.
don't.
You need to
because-
find sort ... not the one that says A to Z, but
Oh,
the
okay.
one that says sort ...
That's exactly what I did. I find A to Z, and then the other option was Z to A, or some other. So I never.
Okay,
got to
are
the-
you in the one where it says Z to A to Z, all of that?
I got there, but now I am back. I went back to the Zoom meeting to unmute and speak to you.
Okay, because if you got into a place where you could tab and it had different things,
Yeah.
then and it had Z to A or A to Z, a radio button thing.
Okay.
Then it probably also was the right place to be. And you needed to find where it said my data has headers and check that.
Okay.
And then tab 3 times from there
Okay.
to the columns and pick email, arrow down to email, and then tab 3 times and you should hit an OK button.
I promise to do all that tonight.
Okay. All right. You let me know what happens. All right.
This has been really great.
Alan, did you get Analia ST? I think you said
Yes,
you
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I
you're
got it.
good. Good. Brian, did you get Analia ST? You're muted.
Hold the
You've been
audio now unmuted.
Hi. Brian, you're still muted. The AI is on, so you have to find the got it. If you haven't found the got it yet, hit F6. It may be somewhere there. Hit F6 a few times if you have to. And I wonder if the rest of you who I haven't heard from have had the same problem. So it's a good reason to check in with everybody. So I'm gonna wait and let Brian, as soon as you unmute yourself, just let me know, and we're gonna go on. Faye, I haven't heard from you all afternoon. How's it going? You're muted. Or as everybody likes to say, you're on mute, which makes no sense.
Yep.
But
I'm doing good.
Faye?
Yes,
Faye?
Marcy.
Hi.
Hi. I'll be honest, I've just kind of been listening. It's way over my head, but at least I'm starting. I understand a little bit about Excel. I'm being honest. I haven't done too much. It's way over me.
Well,
But
this should have taken some of the fear away of Excel
Well,
spreadsheets if you
yeah.
if you follow along and actually do it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm being, yeah. And I
all
didn't want
right.
to, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Haile, I've heard from you a couple of times this afternoon, which is very nice. Nice to have you participating.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
been like
Marcy,
this.
are we going to get a record of this or?
Yes, it's going to go up on our YouTube channel.
Okay, good.
All right, Lisa, how'd you do?
Well, I had to stop at I was in the email on the document. When I tried to pull it up, it wanted me to select where I wanted to launch it. And it only wanted me to launch on all web stuff like Foxtrot and Edge and
So you couldn't get Excel open.
No, it's a problem with my computer. I have help coming up in a month or so. I think it's just the computer. I think it's in some kind of a mode, and I got help coming up, and I think that's where I got
Okay.
stuck.
Okay.
So I did listen up beyond that. So
Okay. Louise, did you ever get caught up?
Okay, I've been listening. I was able to get and figure out parts of it because I got this spreadsheet, but because I was in a total different spot, I'm going to have to go back and what I'm going to take and do with the YouTube channel, just the YouTube, go back and do it. But some of it I was trying, like I did select from a certain spot and I could get into the menus, but I was falling behind. So I was like, I'm going to have to, at my speed now, go do this part because it is over my head. I'll say
right.
it. But I did learn some stuff and I did figure out some of the things, but it's not everything. So I did not get it to do it because of course I didn't get the first part done, as you know.
Okay. All right. Mary. Mary's first name double. How goes it, Mary? I haven't heard from you all afternoon either. And you're still muted. Oh, Mary. All right, I'll come back to you and Brian then. Pat, you're muted. How goes it?
I came late, so I'm going to follow the YouTube, but I've been listening very intently, and what you're saying makes sense, so I should be able to follow the recording.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
If not, I'll tell you. I'll let you know.
If not, you'll let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Brian and Mary. Brian, you're still muted.
Yeah, no, I was just
There
listening
you
in.
are. Okay. All right. You were relaxing. All right. No problem. Mary. All right, Mary. If you can't unmute, it's probably like I said, you've got to find that got it or okay because of the AI companion thing. Okay. If you have any questions, email me. And that goes to everyone. If you have any questions, email me. I'm just going to say one last thing. I was hoping that we could do column headers and row headers, and we didn't get to them, but I grabbed how to deal with them. So in Excel, as I said, sometimes the column headers are not on row one. The University Settlement Choir, before we started messing with it, the name, email, telephone number, which is your column headers, were on row 2, if my memory serves. And that, if you were trying to listen, if you were going across a row down on row 50, say, and you didn't know what the column headers were, it could be confusing. So you can get both of our screen readers, they will do automatic reading of the headers, but they need to know what row they're on so that they know what they're doing. And there are keystrokes. Jaws is Control Insert Shift, and then R for row headers and C for column headers. And NVDA is Shift NVDA R and Shift NVDA C for row and column headers. I threw the Jaws in today because I had meant to find that before today, and I forgot to put the, by the way, this is Jaws, so that the paragraph just above my name in the updated email is for those of you who use Jaws, and the rest of it is NVDA. I'm thinking there's probably an elements list in NVDA, in Jaws as well for NVDA, so you can try insert F7 and see what happens. But it was mainly the row and column headers that I had wanted to get to, but yeah, you've got the information, and if you try it and you need some help, let me know. Yeah, I hope that everybody learned something, and that after today, if you get a spreadsheet, that you'll take the time to look at it and that it won't be as scary, because they are really helpful. They're very logical most of the time. It's a very great, it's a good way to keep data, whether it's numbers or words, it doesn't matter. Anything that you want to keep in some logical order, I've used Excel for years for that. And it has the added value that if you end up having to do some addition or subtraction or multiplication, you're in the right program to do it. So I'm going to end there. As I said, if you have any questions, president@blindcanadians.ca, please feel free to email me, and I will help you. Thank you, everybody.
Do you have similar Excel training programs for intermediate and advanced learners?
We're thinking of doing that if we get enough people that are interested.
Okay. I was looking for that, yeah.